Welcome to Strong Healthy Seniors. I'm Bill, and today I'd like to talk about nutrition that changed my life. It may have saved my life. You've heard it said that diet and exercise go hand in hand. Well, for me, it could not be more true. That I could not exercise if I didn't eat properly. At one time, I was dealing with so much inflammation. I'd been diagnosed with arthritis for over 25 years by many doctors. And when they looked at x-rays, I had cartilage damage and joint inflammation. Looked just like arthritis, but another doctor found out that due to a blood test, I didn't have the agent for arthritis, he found. And then he said that it seemed that I had high blood sugar. And I'd been pre-diabetic, so he was on the right track. He wanted to prescribe medication. I said, well, can I just do it naturally? And he was reluctant, but he said, yeah, because I don't think a lot of people are successful with that. But I was determined to find out how. And so I looked into things like a glycemic index and its effect on inflammation in the joints and things, and pre-diabetes. So I started to research about foods that were low in a glycemic index. And I found out that actually it's the glycemic load that you're looking at, that you can eat normally glycemic heavy foods or moderate foods if you eat really low glycemic foods, and it makes a load in your system that that doesn't spike your blood sugar. So then you can eat. It enables you to eat more variety of foods, and it enabled me to do this in a way that was very healthy, and I didn't, I almost didn't notice that much difference in my diet, but it really reversed the inflammation I was feeling, and it made it possible for me to walk normally again, to exercise like I used to do. So there was pre-diabetes, arthritis. I had even begun to experience some high blood pressure, and I was confused about it because I was eating a diet that I'd always heard was healthy and that I suggested to others as well. And this is what it was. It's a lean protein. It is fruits and vegetables and fiber and like nuts and seeds and things of that nature. So that's what I'd always heard was basically a healthy diet. But I was experiencing some mild chest pain, and it's a little concerning. And when I when I would check my blood pressure, it was high. Well, fortunately, because I'm studying fitness and reading books about it, I ran across a book. It was by Dr. Ruth Heydrich, I guess, PhD, the other Dr. Ruth they call her. And the book was called Senior Fitness, the Diet and Exercise Program for Maximum Health and Longevity. And when I found this book, I was reading about this amazing lady, Ruth Heydrich, who was a marathon runner and athlete, but she found out that she had breast cancer. And so it's an amazing story about her. So she found out about this breast cancer, and she was determined, and she had surgery for it and all this. You can read her story. It's an amazing story. It was in this book, so I suggest this book. And so in researching about cancer, and she's determined to find out if she can combat it somehow, she had run across some doctors. I think John McDougall was the one she mentioned in her book. But in researching about him and her, I ran across a documentary. It's called Forks Over Knives. Forks Over Knives. And what that means is is probably like vegetables and things you can eat with a fork over meat and things that you can cut with a knife. I'm just guessing that's what it means. So forks over knives. They have a website and you can watch this documentary free, and I suggest it. I think it's amazing. So it talks about things like the China study. It goes by another name, but they basically call it the China study, where the Emperor of China had been diagnosed with terminal cancer. So he commissioned throughout his country a study to find out more about cancer and how to find. And this study found out that cancer was prevalent in certain provinces and certain areas, uh, but not in other areas. And so they wanted to find out why. So the results of this study found out that cancer and other related diseases like heart disease and blood vessel pulmonary diseases were caused by largely diet. They saw these diet aspects in these different provinces. Like wherever there was a high intake of animal foods, meat and dairy, there was a high incidence of cancer and these other diseases. But in areas where it was mainly, say, whole food, plant-based diet, there was almost no cancer. And so this study found out, and it's been proven with science today that a whole food plant-based diet is really beneficial for us to fight cancer. And why is this? And heart disease. It comes down to a cellular level that animal food cells, and food is comprised of cells, after all, that the cell walls contain a cholesterol that is that collects in our arteries and veins, and it creates blockages. It's LDL cholesterol type of protein, LDL, low density lipoprotein, whereas plant-based foods contain another type of cholesterol in their cell structure. That is called HDL cholesterol, high density lipoprotein, and it actually does not block your arteries. It actually can clean your arteries. It helps clean out unhealthy this LDL cholesterol. So it's beneficial, and it comes from plant-based foods. You see, and people are concerned about this. They wonder, well, where am I going to get protein if I don't get it from meat and dairy sources? And let me assure you, like we've seen in a lot of these studies, that some of the largest animals on Earth are plant eaters. Now, where do they get their protein? Well, we synthesize protein, but plant foods have protein, have clean, healthy protein as well. Nuts, seeds. There's other ways to get protein that's cleaner, and if this is the way I look at it. I actually look at a balanced approach, because there are, sometimes it's a little challenging to get enough protein in your diet. And some of these other nutrients that animal-based foods may have, say like eggs or stuff like that. So I will sometimes include, or I don't exclude, small amounts of meat and dairy and eggs and things like that, because it has nutrition. So, but I primarily eat plant-based foods. And so I feel like that I can tolerate these animal foods as long as I eat a significant amount of plant-based foods that helps clean my system, detoxify, and such. So that's my take on it. That when you look at Asian diets, they tend to look at meat and dairy things as kind of like a flavoring of foods, Whereas in America we look at it as the main substance in our meal. We mainly look at starting out with a meat and then adding some sides to it. Whereas there, they start out with, you could say the sides, they start out with plant-based foods and all. And then there may be a little meat included in it, for mainly like flavoring or things. And, I think that's a really, uh, I don't really like this word, but doable, feasible, practical way to do it is to look more into a dominant plant-based diet. And, you know, uh, I don't think eating a little meat's going to kill me. When I go to the doctor and I see my results of my blood tests and my examination, it's usually that my heart rate's good, my blood pressure is good, my blood test is good, A1C is good, cholesterol. It seems like everything's good. So I just use a balanced approach. And I just wanted to come here today to kind of tell you about the nutrition that I have found to benefit me. And it's just a kind of short video. And I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist, but this is what I've found and what I do in my life. And I am able now, years ago, I was looking at getting a cane or a wheelchair. I was having to hold on to things to walk around. Uh, and, and, but now I can run, I can play with kids and my family. So it's been a huge change in my life. And I wanted to share this with you today about how nutrition has changed my life. And I hope this might help you. Thanks for joining me today. Just a brief video again. My name is Bill. This is Strong Healthy Seniors. Thanks for joining me today. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye, everybody.